Hey there guys, welcome to our Kickstarter preview of Steam Pirates. This is a new sort of airship game from Golden Egg Games, and Carla and I are going to do a little Kickstarter preview for you where we're going to play through a few turns, we're going to explain some of the rules, and we're going to show you the prototype components that we have in front of us. And so you can get a general feel of what it's like, and if you like it you can follow the link below and go back it. Is that right? So there we go, let's get to the table and we show you what's happening. See you there. Alright, so here we have a very heavy rough prototype of Steam Pirates. I'm going to go through some of the basic components and what we're using here, and then the basic overview of the gameplay. And then when we get to the gameplay section, we'll go more in depth in what the actions are, etc. But ultimately what it is we have in a 2-player game, we're only going to do 2 rounds each per season. But in 3-player, you do 3 rounds. In 4-player, you do 4 rounds. So what's going to happen at the beginning of a round, you're going to roll the weather dice, and that will determine which way the wind is blowing. So this will show you it's now going to be blowing north. And then we roll the 7 action die. Now I'll come into more detail into the action die in a minute, but basically we roll that there, and that is our action pool. So what's going to happen is, starting with the first player, we're going to use this pirate token as the first player. So let's say I'm the first player. I'm the black sails. So this is my player board. Over here is my treasury. As the first player, I will start with 9 gold. And because we each have a trading post in Haven, we each start with 1 coal and 1 connected territory. So this is my board. This will be Carla's board. Carla's board, Octavian's. And in turn, we will take turns by basically either optionally moving, so we can sail to a new island. If you sail with the wind, so in this case if we go north, you get 1 free move essentially. So you can move up to 4 spaces, and if you move say 2 spaces, so for example let's say I go there and then there, so that's 2 moves. One went east and the other one went north. So because the wind's blowing north, the north move would be free, but you can only do that once per round, and this would cost me 1 gold. So that would normally cost me 2, but because I went north it only cost me 1. And then when you arrive at an area, you can then do the action of the dice. So first thing you do when you arrive at a new area that you haven't been to before is you can place an anchor token. Now the anchor token basically just means you've connected with that city, and you now have options to sell goods to them from your trade network. And when you do that, you move your trade network up by 1, and that's because that's a coal area indicated underneath the name there. So I now have a second city, if you like, that's interested in buying and selling coal. Then when it goes to my action phase, so I've now done my sailing phase, my action phase, I can take one of these dice and I can do the actions. So the different actions you can do is, keeping in mind this is a really rough prototype, this is the trade action, which is a little house. So I'll show you a better one like that. That's the trade action. That is when you can build trade houses. So we each have a certain amount of trade houses, 8 in this case, and we can then spend money based on how much it costs. So it says 2 gold over there. So whether it's gold or firearms or rum, the number is indicated by gold. So I can spend 2 of my treasury. So I spend, in fact I spent 1 to move there as well. So I spend 2, and then I add a trade house to that, which returns my anchor token, and then my trade coal trade house moves up by 1. So now I have 2 coal trading houses, and it's connected by 2 networks. I don't know how to explain that.
Well, they're networked.
Yeah. So that basically means when I do a profit income, which is this one, so this dice is the profit dice, or the income dice. When you use this one, you gain money equal to A, the round of the season we're in. So the first season is 2, second season 3, third season 4. And then they multiply the trade network by your trade houses. So in this very instance, I would have 2 trade network, because there's 2 places, multiplied by 1, because my second trade house only fills up the 1 slot. So there are 2 1s, 2 2s, 2, and so on. So that would be 2 times 1 is 2. So I'd make 2 money, plus the 2 from there is 4 money. And I can move my income up by 4. Now that's very important because money is obviously victory points. We're pirates after all, and that's what we want to be. We want to be rich. But we also want to spend money to bribe officials. So we've got pirate officials and British Empire officials. And this icon is to use to bribe. Now the bribing is quite interesting because it has 3 basic actions. So the first action you can do is over here on the characters that are available. Out of these characters, you can bribe them for later turns. So for example, quite efficiently, is the judge. The judge is over there. So if I wanted to bribe the judge, I could take one of my pirate tokens, spend 4 money, put that there, to gain 3 victory points. So I'd move up 3 there, I take 4 of my income, and now the judge will go back into the discard pile and a new character will come out. But that means at a later stage, if I wanted to use the judge's ability, which is on there's a note on the side here, I can use his ability as the bribe action in a later turn. Or if I just wanted to use him just for this turn, I could instead just spend a bribe action dice and do the top section. If I've already bribed him in a previous stage, I can then use the bottom section, which is a better version. And then the final bribe action thing you can do, so you can either bribe them for a later turn, you can use them for the top section, or I've forgotten what the third one was. I'll come back to that. Okay, so those are the 3 basic actions. So you've got bribe, money, and trade. But then the other sides of the dice is you have a multi-option one. So I'm going to use these dice. So this one is either trade, and this is a misprint. This should be just the bribe actions. You can either do trade or bribe action, or this one, which is a wild. You can do any of the 3 basic actions. So that's pretty much it. On your turn, you sail, you gain a action dice to do your action, and you're basically bribing officials, you're creating trade houses, gaining trade networks. Over here on these smaller islands, there are some map tokens. If you find all 4 pieces of the map token, you find the very limited, extensive treasure that's been hidden in the islands. And also, you have to avoid these 2 bad boys. So this is the pirate dreadnought, and this is the British flagship. They will be doing their own missions, which is over here, and you can aid them by bribing the captain or the commodore, and pushing them along, gaining victory points and gold for that to aid them in their journeys. And I'll explain more about that when we get to the gameplay section. Just to note as well, there's some end game scoring stuff over here. So there'll be 3 random ones that come out every game. We only have 3 for the prototype. But basically, if you do these in the game, first player, second player, third player, and so on. Anything to add to that, Carla?
Not really. Do you know if this is kind of the final artwork?
Most of it is. I mean, this is on Kickstarter now. So we'll put a link in the description below, and this will take you to the Kickstarter page. And you can see, at the moment, all these things that we're using are completely different in the Kickstarter. Like I said, this is a very rough prototype. So, for example, these will be standees, but they won't look so roughshod like this. These will actually be map tokens. These will actually be, anchor tokens and pirate tokens. The trade houses will look different. The connection markers will look different. So, just keep that in mind while looking at this while we're playing. But that is essentially the basics of the game.
The look is going to be roughly the same. So, yeah. I think it's probably it's one of those games that I think you need to watch the gameplay section to actually get a feel for how it plays. It plays much easier than what it sounds.
Yeah, so for setup, basically, just to go through that quickly, we both start off in Haven, and we each start with a trade house and 1 connection marker in there. We also have this player bag with 4 syndicate cubes and 1 cube for each of us for our trade house there. That goes in the bag. This is called the Notorious Bag.
Really?
Yeah. And basically, every time we build a trade house, our notoriety will go up. And basically, if that comes out, we have to. It's essentially be us being fined by the government. We have to pay taxes and fines if our cubes are drawn out of this bag. So I don't like Clank. If you think, where the dragon attacks, this sort of similar sort of feel. Okay, so that's a general overview. A lot of information. But we're going to go to the gameplay section now, and then while we're playing through the gameplay section, we'll explain and talk about our actions and our decisions and so on. So let's get to that. So we'll cut here, be back in the gameplay. Alright, so you join us for the gameplay. We're about to start the very first round. We've not started any yet, so you get to see us go from the get-go. We all start off here in Haven. We each have a trade house in play already. And I'm the first player. As the first player, I get 9 money. And as Carla is the second player, she'll get 10 money. Our wind is facing north. Our action dice has been rolled. We're on the first season, which is +2 money. The first round of that. So as the first action, I'll get to go. But before we start that, the event card is revealed for the turn. This is the event card. So we got one for the Dreadnought, the Pirate Dreadnought, and one for the British flagship. So what is basically happening is they traveling around the Sea of Clouds, and we are basically trying to avoid them at all costs. Even the Pirate Dreadnought, even though we are pirates don't have that honor code in this world. Yeah, they'll salvage anything they can from us. But there's a little theme to it. So, for example, the Down Under one for the British one, which is the British flagship, it says, a new craze for rum set the market of Fell into a frenzy for the taste of sweet beverage. Due to the rise in its price, the merchants of Mistral, so that's telling you where it starts, which is where it is now, asked the Flying Fort to escort their convoy to repel any to attempt to seize the much needed barrels of rum. So, oh sorry, I made a mistake there. It doesn't start in Mistral, that's Mistral over there. That's where it's trying to go to. It starts in Fell.
So it's trying to go down here.
Yeah. So at the end of every round, it'll move one space, but we can influence it by using the Commodore to make it go faster. And it's basically a little side quest. You can see some cubes of spaces over there. When you do the action to influence it, you get the money on the year we're in plus a victory point. If it reaches its destination, the person who influenced it the most will get 4 extra victory points. A friendly tie will be 2 points each. Okay, and the Dreadnought is going from Azura,
so it's there already,
to Tingard,
which is right over here.
And there's a little bit of fluff there as well for that. So those are the events for this season. So as the first player, I get to do the first action, and going north is makes it a little cheaper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move there for 1 action, so that's going to cost me 1 gold. And then I'm going to move there for my second action. But because I'm going north, that'll be a free action. So it only costs me 1 gold to move. And then I dump a trade token down. Not a trade token, an anchor token. So that will increase my network just by adding the anchor token there. So I've docked at their port, I've discussed with their market traders and so on. And we've built up a rapport. Then I now get to do my action. So I'm going to I could do the money action, but at this point the money won't get me anything because I haven't built up a good trade network. I'd only get 3 money. I could do the bribe action, bribing one of the characters that are out here, like the governor, the captain, the barkeep, or the governor. Barkeep's pretty good. He'll cost me 1 gold and I'll get 1 victory point. But if I do an influence action later, I'll get a cost of like a 1 less money to influence people. But trade tokens are limited, so I don't want to use them just yet. So I'm going to do the trade action.
Can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
Do we need to do this beforehand?
Oh, yes.
We've got the Kraken out.
Yes.
So the Kraken here basically means that a token has to come out of the notoriety bag.
So the Kraken is a wild token for us to use anything. But for every one that's drawn, we have to draw out a bag. Yeah. This is a syndicate, so...
So it's a great positive as it's a wild. It is anything, but there is a negative.
Yes. So it was a yellow one, so none of us suffer anything. But if, let's say, one of us were drawn, we would have to pay 2 gold to the taxman.
At this point, it's 2 gold we'd have to pay.
So I'm going to do the trade action, which allows me to build a trade post. So the trade post over here is going to cost me 2 gold. So I take 1 from my supply, I put it in there, and then I return my anchor token to my supply, and I move my gold marker down by 2, and I move my trade post up by 1. So it hasn't increased my income by much at the moment, so I've got still only 1 times 1 or 2 times 1, which is 2 points, 2 money. But it's something to begin with.
The other thing worth noting is that so Jason has just increased his kind of coal revenue, if you like, but at the moment the British fleet is actually resting on a coal area.
Oh yes.
Which means that coal, any kind of the coal network, won't be benefiting from anything.
Yeah, they put an embargo on coal.
On coal, so essentially, nobody will trade coal with you. They're too scared of the fleet. And at the moment, anything trading in Azura, like so, if there was a trading post there would be no trading for that. So you wouldn't be benefiting from the extra, but that's only one area that would be affected.
Whereas the British one does the
Whereas the British is the whole, all the isles. So for my turn, I am going to... So Jason has basically... Oh no, there's 2 trade posts here. So I do have an option. So I am going to use... I'm also going to travel north. So I'm going to go up.
Nope.
No, I can't. It's like the second time I've done that now. Well, that's fine. So I'll go down to this side.
Yep.
So because it's west, it will cost me 1 movement, 1 coin for that movement. But moving north costs me nothing
1
for the
less,
first. Yeah. So 1 less. So I'll go up
to 9.
Yeah, I lose 1 coin for that. And then I place my anchor there.
Which increases your, what is it? Automatons.
Yeah, automatons.
So
I'm going to use the kind of the either or dice. I'm not going to bribe, but I am going to use the function of you know, establishing a trade post here. So I'm going to place my trade post and remove my anchor token, which basically costs me 3. So 3 to establish that.
okay. And then it goes on to me. Right. I think I'm going to so the only option I can go over there, but I know the British are going to be going to Rom soon, so I don't really want to go to a Rom area.
And you don't want to be too close to that dreadnought either.
No.
Because the dreadnought's going to try and travel across here in its most direct route, and the fleet is going to do the same thing.
So, and I only know there's only 1 more trade action left, so I'm going to take that.
But there is a wild.
Oh yes, that's true. So I'm going to go 1, 2 to there. So that's going to cost me 2 money as I've gone basically south. And then I drop a trade anchor token there, which will increase my automatons by 1. I saw how good this was. So I'm also going to build a trade post there, and I think I'm going to take that. So I'm going to build a trade post there, returning my trade token, costing me 3 more. So 1, 2, 3, and then my trade post moves up by 1. And that's me done.
Okay. So who do I have that I could potentially bribe? So there's a governor, which no. The judge.
Barkeep's pretty good. It only costs 1, and he makes bribing at a later date cheaper.
Okay.
Just for those of you who want to follow some of the events, the end of game scoring is the player who bribed the most British characters at the end of the game. The player with the most connected trade houses. So at the moment that would be
you.
No, none of us, because we've got
us.
1. And then the player with the most notoriety in the game at the end of the game. Oh, I completely forgot that. When we built these trade posts,
oh yeah,
we have to dump another notoriety in the bag.
Okay, where am I? It's the 4th.
And in case you were wondering, these places are inaccessible for us at the moment. We can't fly through them or land on them. And the little islands where our map pieces are, they are not landable islands either. We can fly through them and pick up the map piece as we go through them, but we can't end there. You literally can only go south.
I know, I'm a little messed over. Where's the other automaton? There's 3.
1 there
there's
with
4.
me, 1 where you are. And
Yeah, there's 2 here.
Yeah, it's only 3.
Oh, it's because I got stuck on the 4 there. Okay, fair enough. Well, down it is then. I am going to go 1 movement down for 1. And I'm going to drop my anchor there.
Which is on the firearms.
Yeah. I'm going to use the Kraken, the wild. And I'm going to establish another trade post.
That one's going to cost you 5.
That is going to cost me 5.
Put you down to 0.
Yes, it does.
I've got to take all the money now.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
Why?
You better not take all the money because I'm...
Well, there's 2 money there, so I can't take both.
Okay, this comes back. Yeah. The reason I'm panicking is because although I've cleared off from its direct route, it's not likely to bump into me, I suspect. I have, however, put myself smack bang in the route of the Dreadnought, which means...
Alright, well, I've only got 1 money, which is not great. But I am going to use my free, because of the wind blowing north, just to move up 1 space. I'll dump a anchor token down there, which increases my firearm connections by 1. Then I'm going to take money. This money's a bit short at the moment. So, money works like this. At the moment, we're on year 1, so I'm getting +2 money for that. I have 2 connections on my coal, but coal is... Oh, crap, coal is embargoed.
Yes, coal is embargoed.
Oh, I'm in so much trouble. Okay, so my automatons is basically 1 trade network for +1, so that's 1 times 1 is 1, plus the 2 there, that puts me on 3, so it goes up to 4. I did not think this through.
Okay. I need to get the hell out of Dodge.
And just for interest's sake, the firearm, even though I've got a trade network of 1, I don't actually have any trade houses, so therefore I don't make any money off firearms. I just know a bit about firearms.
Okay, so I am... So I can only move north. Oh, the irony.
You don't have to move. Moving is optional.
No, I know, but I'm wondering if I shouldn't just move back there now. So essentially I could move north for 3. And I definitely need to move. So I'm going to move back to Blackhall. Is that Blackhall?
Mm-hmm.
Blackhall. To get out of the Dreadnought's way, because I can see him coming. Which is a free move. And I am then going to use the income token to generate some income. So I have got 1 trading post and 1 1 connection in my coal, which allows for 1.
But coal's embargoed.
So that makes me nothing. But I've got 1 automaton up here, trading post with a connection, which gives me...
You got a trading post there as well, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, oh, sorry, yeah. So that gives me 1, so it's 1 times 1, and then it's the same thing for the firearms, which is 1 times 1.
So you got 4.
So
1 times 1 is 1.
So there's 2 there. What he means is, with those 2, for the season, is 4. So I get 4 lovely coins, please. Phew.
Alright, and then I will get, as the first player, I will get the last action, which is this bribe action. So the choices are, I can bribe anyone over here for free and just do the action immediately and then they're discarded. Or I can spend money to bribe them. Or I can just discard the dice itself to get the season's money. So I could get 2 money for the dice. I'm on 4 money at the moment. And I am going to move north. I'm going to move to there. Which will dump another trade over there. Pushing my trade network up. And I can't do a build action there. But I could... do I want to bribe the barkeep? I feel like it could be handy. I'll show you guys what it does anyway. Okay, so I'm going to use the bribe action. And I'm going to spend 1 gold. Because I've got so much of it. And I'm going to bribe the barkeep. So it's going to cost me 1. Because it's the most left space. Which will give me 1 victory point. So I'm in the lead. Then he, that's not him, that's him, will get discarded and a new character will come out, which is the Commodore. Okay, and that is a season done. So what's going to happen now is the first player marker will move to Carlo. The ships will move, so that one's going to go there. This one actually moves 2 spaces, so it goes there, actually there, and this one will go there.
Just to reiterate, the reason Jason's basically bribed this guy, so he's paid, okay, and the card gets discarded. But now Jason has access to him whenever there's a bribe function. So he didn't get anything right now from him, but he's there for future rounds. So just on the side here, there's a quick reference sheet that'll tell you exactly what he gets. There's 2 functions. The first one is basically like a quick bribe, which was just the card function. But the second one is like a more involved function. So, you know, Jason will be able to always call on the barkeep now.
Okay, so now you re-roll the weather dice as the first player. So we're going west. So that moves west. And then you roll the action die. All 7 of them. There's one wild token.
So we've got 1 Kraken here.
Release
and this is why
Kraken.
I was slightly panicky about not having any money, because if my cube got drawn, I have to pay the seasons. So I have to pay a fine. I got caught basically, so I have to pay 2, which luckily I have.
Yeah, but that goes back into supply, and that also moves up to the second half of the season, and we are ready to go for the next round.
Okay.
And you are the first player.
Okay, right, so let's just have a look. So essentially my automatons, okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way so you can see for a second. So he's up here now. Oh no, that's me. Where's the dreadnought? Right, anyway, so the fleet is on Gale now, and it's on Rum, so there's an embargo on Rum throughout the Isles. And the dreadnought is on Haven at the moment, which will affect both of our coal takings.
Yeah, so those trade houses are occupied by the new pirates.
Yeah. So nothing will be coming to us. They'll be helping themselves.
Sail west down here and get a pirate treasure map. Because west is a free action this time.
West is a free action.
So it costs you 1 to get to Azura.
It will. No, it costs you 2. I know 1, yes, because it's... I mean, I would almost venture to say that and then that. So that's probably why, because it's a down.
Is that what you're going to do?
No, I don't want to, but I feel like there's not really a huge amount of choice. I don't have enough mola. And...
So
when I've crossed this point, there's the map pieces. So let's pretend this is purple. But
so I've made it based on your colour.
Yeah. So essentially that will go on. So I've discovered the first part of my treasure map. Towards the treasure. I will pay. Did you pay 1 already? No. 1 for my movement. So it was a free move, and then 1, and I drop anchor there. So
that's a coal one.
It is a coal one.
So you get your second network for coal.
Okay. So now to decide what I want to do. So I've only got 1 coin, so I can't really use. I can't establish a trade post because trade post will cost me 2. I can't really bribe because there's nobody that's cheap enough to bribe.
I suspect it's going to be a money action.
It will have to be a money action, so I'll use the money action. I can't remember the official term.
So rum is embargoed this turn, but you don't have any rum. So
I don't have any rum. So essentially, from my perspective, we are looking at 2 for the season. So 1 more. So it's 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so 1 for coal, 1 for firearms, and 1 for automaton. So you spread it around a bit. So you got 5, putting you to 6. That's your action done. Where the hell am I? Where the devil am I? Oh,
You're
there.
over here.
Right. So I'm going to
Just
go...
move that so I can see a little bit.
How much money have I got? Oh, I don't have enough, which is annoying. But I'm going to go 1, 2 to there. So they're going to cost me 2 money because none of those were going west. It was north and east. I then get to dump a trade post down, or anchor post, which will move that up by 1. So now I got 2 times 1, so that's a little bit more. Even just by going there, not even building a trade house, it's increased my trade income, which is good because I need friggin' money. I can't afford to build the trade house there because, like Carla was in the position before, I've only got 1 money, so I'm going to take this money action and I'm going to get some money. So I've got 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 times 1 is 2, so I've got 4, plus 2 more for there is 6. That's much better. Up to 7 I go. That's me done.
Okay. Who me? Okay, so I could travel west, but I can't actually travel west. That cost me 1. I have no rum.
Where's all the rum gone?
And I need to be careful of that fleet. That's interesting. Okay, I think I'm going to go. I wonder if I should even bother moving. I'm not going to move.
Okay.
But I am going to pick this one.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that.
So I've picked the wild, and I'm going to use it to bribe the Commodore.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to build a trade station there. So, the Commodore, are you going to do it on here or just use his ability immediately?
No, I don't want to use her ability. I'm going to use the 5 and bribe her, just because her ability, just remind me,
How much does it
but
cost?
it's 5. I'm pretty sure that her ability is...
allows the removal of the fortress 1 space. This is the basic ability.
Yeah.
Flying the fortress 1 space and then place one of your tokens on the activating event. But if you have her bribe like you do, you can fly the flying fortress 2 spaces and put 1 on the event.
So all that allows me now is I've paid 5, her card is removed or discarded, but I do get 4 victory points out of it as well, and I have her at my disposal in future.
That was really ballsy, girl, because you only got 1 money left now. And there's no more money this round to go. You could spend a dice just to get 2 money. Well, I did not see that coming. Okay, over
Well,
to
I
me.
can risk you taking her.
So, the Portmaster came out, by the way. You could pay 1 gold to use the cog action of any British character.
Okay.
Alright, so for me, I've got 7 money. You can move up to 4 spaces, by the way, paying up to 4 gold if you don't use the wind. But I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pick up that map piece. That I moved 3 spaces, but I did at least 1 west, so that's only going to cost me 2 gold. So it's been up to 5. I get to drop a trade post in Fjell, which is a coal area, and then I'm also going to do the trade post action, which is one of these, which is going to return that anchor. It cost me 3 gold. 1, 2, 3. And that increases my trade post by 1, but it also puts a notoriety cube in the bag. And that's me done. Back over to you.
Now correct me because I might be wrong, but I'm going to use the bribe token.
Yeah.
To bribe the Commodore again.
Okay, because that's...
So...
You just explain. She's not... Oh, sorry. Are you going to do that now?
Yeah. That's fine. You can do it if you want to. So the Commodore is no longer here, right? So she's not available to Jason anymore. However, because I've bribed her, she is available to me now. I don't have to pay her again, but I get to use her advanced ability. And her advanced ability allows me to place a cube on the event gain 2. So because there's the season is the first season, so gain 2 gold, and I get to move.
And you get a victory point as well.
And I get a victory point, and I get to move him.
And because he's heading to Minstrel, he has to move towards that.
Yeah. So essentially, I will go. Unfortunately, we're not going to make it before the end of the season. Oh, that's a real pain. Oh no, you might do. So how would you want to? So 1, 2. Oh.
There's no more bribe actions left.
No.
So it's not going to make it.
It isn't going to make it, but oh well.
But
Still got the money, and I still got the.
Yeah. Okay. Back over to me. How much money have I got? 2. Oh my goodness, I don't have a lot of money. And there's no more money actions left. So I'm going to move 1 to the west for free. I'm going to drop down anchor token, which will push up my automated network up by 1. Then I'm going to take one of these trade tokens. It cost me 3 to do a trade action there, which I can't afford. So I'm just going to spend this money for 2 cash. I mean, spend this dice for 2 cash. Because it's the first season. So you can spend any dice you want. It's called cutting your losses. Basically, just spend it for 2.
Okay.
And there's the first one.
Oof. What am I going to do?
I suspect comes when you got 3. Where were you? Over there. There's a lot of expensive places around. You could stay there and build a trade house there. I don't want
to waste my trade houses on coal. It's rubbish.
See, I'm doing it thematically. I'm getting coal to fuel my automatons, in their furnaces and stuff like that.
You're just talking rubbish. You're only doing the automatons because you saw me whoop you. Okay, right. I think.
Of course, again, you don't have to move, but west.
No, you don't. I mean, at this point, I do feel like I should probably move just a little bit because I'm kind of stuck in that corner. So this has not been good for me so far, I have to say.
Teleported.
No. Just thinking of what I want to do.
Rum currently is the boycotted, embargoed.
Yeah, I'm not that phased about rum. I think put one up there. Ooh wee. Okay. I'm going to be a little daring, and I'm going to go 1. Oh. No, that's okay. Because he's going across.
So that's
2.
So it costs you 2 money.
Yeah, and then I'm going to drop anchor.
Which is firearms, which moves up by 1 more.
And then I do have establish a trade post, but I am not going to establish a trade post.
Cash it in.
So I'm going to cash it in for some moolah.
That is the end of the season. Okay, so what happens here is slightly different to the end of the round. First player will, again, change. This normally goes to the left, but obviously in a 2-player, it just switches hands. We get to re-roll the wind dice and this dice. Do you want to do that again, Carla?
Okay.
These guys, this is the end of the round, so this event is finished. Carla, unfortunately, she got an immediate bonus of money and victory point for going there, but because they didn't actually reach their destinations, this goes back to her. She discards that, and we have a new one. Do you want to?
Okay.
Did you roll loads of money? So that's the new places for them to start.
Okay, so Pirate Dreadnought.
This is going to go to the next season.
It's going to Blackfall. Where's Black? What happens if somebody's on there?
That's fine. Just ignore it for this turn for when they start.
And the fleet is going to Nebula.
Now where they're off to?
So the Dreadnought is travelling to Rose Castle. And the fleet is travelling to Concona, which is over there.
Okay. So in the Kickstarter, they do have destination markers which you can place down so you remember it easier. For us, we're just obviously looking at the event itself. Okay, and then we got one Kraken token came out. So one of us is gonna get penalized. It is the Syndicate. So none of us two. And I think we're ready to go for the next round.
So is that a bribe token?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go first as the first player. Where the hell am I? Oh yes. So at the moment, Rom is no good, and this trade house is also no good. And you can't do anything in the area that they are in, so I have to leave. I might as well. Oh, did you roll this already? Did we go west again?
We are going west again.
All right, so that's not too
Well, the
bad.
wind is blowing west.
Yeah.
We don't have to go west.
I'm going to go this way. So I'll pick up my second map piece, and that'll cost me 1 gold. I will drop anchor token over there, which pushes up my network. Beautiful. Do I want to spend? There's quite a lot of money actions available. So this is interesting because obviously at the moment I got a 3 network. Actually, 2, 4, 5. So it's 5 times 2, which is 10 money at the moment. If I build a trade house there, it's still only going to be 10 money because it's 2 2s. So I'm not gonna build it. I don't know. Should I? No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it like that and end my turn. Oh no, I haven't done an action. I will do the money one, which is so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 times 1 is 3.
Oh yeah, that's not yours. It's mine.
So
excuse me.
So that's, what was that? 10 plus 3 is 13, plus 3 over there is 16. Now we're starting to cook with gas. 16 money, and that is my turn done.
Ooh, it's painful. Okay.
Money is a victory point thing at the end of the game. So for every 4 money, you get a victory point. You also get victory points for these, obviously, end game scoring, and
oh, sorry, I'm jumping the gun again.
and whatever you accumulate through the rounds.
Okay, well I'm going to go 1, 2.
Okay, so that's going to cost you 2 money.
Drop anchor. Yeah.
What was that? Automaton.
Mhm.
Okay, so that goes up by 1.
Okay. Oh, I'm not going to make very much money if I do this, but I don't really know what else to. What is the Pirate Queen's ability again?
Pirate Queen, she's not yet. Oh, she is not out yet. You were the captain, judge, portmaster, and governor.
Oh, I must have. I thought I saw the Pirate Queen come out. It's not. I think it's the captain that I saw.
He allows you to move the dreadnought.
Does he now?
Mm.
What else?
And you get to put cubes on their event.
You get to put cubes on their event. I think I'll be bribing.
Okay, you do like that, don't you?
I'm going to move the dreadnought over here.
Okay, well, oh, you're just using your straight out ability. So
yeah.
Alliance.
So I don't have to pay. I'm not actually bribing the captain on a permanent basis. I'm just using the quick bribe.
Yeah. So advance the dreadnought 1 space towards his goal, which was down there, wasn't it?
Rose Castle.
And then place 1 of your tokens on the acting event. So I'll just grab it for you. Which is that one, which means you get 3 money. 1, 2, 3 for the season, and 1 victory point. And that is all action done. Goes over to me. I am going. Oh, a new character comes out, which is the Pirate Queen.
Oh, of course it is.
Right, what do I want to do? We've got 3 money actions. We've got a wild and another money action. So I get quite a lot of money, but I feel like I should take advantage of that. Rum is still being embargoed, and my trade house over there is being annoyed. So I think I might go back up to Blackfall or whatever and get a trade house built. Yeah, so I'm going to go 1, 2 to there. That's going to cost me 2 money because I'm not going west. I'm going to do the wild action to build a trade house, which returns this token, puts this down, costs me 3 gold, 1, 2, 3, and my automatons move up 1 more. Over to you.
Oh, okay. So I am going to use the money option.
Really? I'm surprised.
Shush you.
Are you going to move it? Are you going to move it?
I'm not going to move, no.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stick around to where I am at the moment. So,
So what's embargoed?
rum is embargoed and your coal is affected.
So you got 2 for automatons. 2 times 1 is 2. And yeah, you've got 2 times 1 is 2. So you've got 4 there. And then 2 times 1 is 2 more there. So you've got 6 plus 3 is 9.
Okay.
Which puts you on 13.
Did I take one already?
Yes, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So over to me. I'm going to go. We're going to do money here. So I'm going to go. I've been there already. Been there. This is the best one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So south, west, and south again. So that's going to cost me 2. 111. So which we did 9. Drop a trade token there, which pushes this up by 1. And I'll do money action, which is going to be 4 times 2, keep track, 8, plus 4, oh no, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2 is 12. Oh, no, you're right, yeah, 6 times 1. 6. Oh my god, that just cost me 6 money. So what was the first one? 8.
Yeah, 8. And then
oh,
what else
no,
do you
that's
have?
wrong. I always do that. I keep multiplying the number. This is 3 times 2.
Yes.
So 6 plus 6 is 12. It's easy to forget that. So I'm on 9, puts me 22. And did I take one of those already? I think I have. Yeah. So over to you.
Oh, guess what I'm going to do this time?
Is it gaining money? This might not be that exciting for you guys to see us just gaining money.
Where's the dreadnought going next? Oh, they're going to no.
Yeah. The dreadnought's going there. The what's the name? The flying fortress is going to Concona, which is there.
Right. Okay.
That's
So
obviously for you to want to.
well, I can't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
There is no actions for that. So
But you can move to make more trade networks if you want.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do. So I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Unlike you should move before touching the dice. There is. Oh no, there is. But he's going to come down. It's going to eat me.
No, it's not going to. It's not going to move much further because it'll go.
Well, it has to go directly.
Oh, I thought.
Oh
you,
no.
I thought you were going that way.
No, so it has to move there.
Yeah, that's going to go there, and this one is going to go to there.
No, it's going there. Oh no. Yes, it's going.
Yes, this one is going there. That one's going there.
So actually, it'll be there and there.
Mm.
Okay, that's fine. Which means I can go there for 1.
Yep. You're going to swing by and pick up a map piece?
2, 3, and that's a free.
Okay.
Okay, so I basically have picked up another map piece.
The Pirate Queen allows you to pick up map pieces, by the way.
Oh yeah, shush. I know this, but I don't know if I'm going to get the Pirate Queen.
Is that firearms?
No, it is automatons. Okay, so, and then I will be using the money action, which
so 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2, so that's 5. And then 2 times 1 is 6, 7. Plus
8, 9,
10. So, put you to 20.
Okay.
And then I got the last action, where am I? Oh, down here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I already own that, so there's no point going there. Yeah, I'll just go there for 2, pick up that map piece. I'm not going to leave anything there on the rum, will I? I might. No, I only got one trade network left, so I'm not going to. And then I'm going to do this action, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But one of them embargoed, so it's 6 times 1 plus 3 times 2 is 6 more, so 12 plus those is 15. And that is another season done. So that'll move up there. Re-roll this, which is now going east. Crazy wind. We re-roll these. And there's 3 Krakens. Oh, someone's going to be paying. And it's
not me.
One of each of us. So 3 money for us now. 1, 2, 3. Color moves to 17. And the syndicate doesn't care. And the ships get to move. So this one's going 1, 2 to there. And that one's going 1 to there. And there we go. We're now set up for the next round. But I think you guys get the general gist. I mean, obviously we'll carry on with this round, finishing off, building more stuff, bribing people, and then we'll do one more season with 2 more rounds each, and then that's it. We score victory points based on how much money we have, how successful we've been at these, and how much points we've gathered through the round. And we'll come back to you at the end of the game just to show you who won and give you some more details on where you can go to check out the game and stuff like that. So, see you in a bit. So, you join us at the end of the game. We've just finished the final season and we've tallied up the points. So, in second place, or as I like to call it, last, with 49 points is Carla, and I'm in first place with 56. And that's actually a lot closer than I expected it to be. When I was looking, because I ended up with 84 money, and that's effectively 21 points. And Carla had 60 money, so she wasn't that far behind me. So you can tell it ramps up pretty quickly on the money front, especially in a 2-player game. You know, you start off with money pretty tight, and then it quickly jumps up. I think the things that that won me this game, which I thought was quite interesting, is these end goals. One of them was for the British characters who influenced the most. We had 2 each, so basically it was a draw between the 2 of us, so we both got 4 points there. And then the player with the most, say the word, Carla.
Well, that is notorious, but the most notoriety
in the game. So this was interesting. I influenced the judge earlier in the game, and the judge's ability is allowed to go into the draw 3 cubes from the bag, choose 1 to 2 of them to give back to opponents, and then put the other one back in the bag, or the other 2. And I managed to empty the bag to a point where there's just me left in it. So that meant I got 5 points out of that, and Carla got zilch, because I cleared it out. And not only that, it also cost her points in money, because every time I give a cube back to her, she lost 4 money or 3 money, depending on the era we're in. And so that cost her more money. So that's effectively what won me the game.
No, absolutely. So the tactic basically meant that I think he leached just over 20 gold coins out of me in the last kind of few rounds.
Which is effectively 5 points.
Yeah, that's, well, it might have cost me, say if I still came second, there would have been 3 points there. But then, of course, the 20 in itself.
Yeah.
Because by removing me completely from the bag, it meant I couldn't even score second place.
Yeah, and it was a 10-point swing, because I got 5 points from that, and the 5 points I lost you for.
So it was a good tactic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was mean.
Which is so funny, you should see her face. And the final one was established, which was to have the most connected empire. So I had one with 4 there, which was connected by the dotted lines. Carl had 2 3s. So I got 2-point swing there as well. So that was how we scored. Oh, and then also we both collected all the treasure map pieces. So we got 10 points each for that. And that's it. You get money for gold, money for treasure map, and money for victory points for these. So yeah, so that was basically end game scoring. I also influenced the governor, which got me a big 7 points as well, where Carla was doing a couple of the smaller ones.
I mean, of course, if we had actively chased the what's it called?
The flagship stuff.
The event, that might have also, perked up a few points here and there, but we kind of ignored them.
You can see by our player boards as well. This is my 1 year. I maxed out on my Ottomans, so did Carla, and I went to all the coal mines, but I only built 4 of them. As I actually ran out of my pirate tokens and my trade stalls. So I maxed all mine on the board. We still had a couple of trade stalls left.
But then I did that the previous time that we played the game, and at that point I was quite happy not to have any, whereas I feel you wish you could still place things.
Yeah. So I quite like that it's a limited resource. So basically, if you go around the map and just dumping down your anchors everywhere, you won't have any piracy tokens left to influence people. And there was a point in the last turn where I went to a position, was going to build a trading post, but couldn't because I didn't have any. I was going to build influence a character, but I couldn't because I didn't have any piracy tokens. So I had to go to somewhere where I'd left the anchor token, build a trading post there, which was there, and then get my piracy token back so that I can then go influence someone. So that was quite interesting. It means you can't just spread around like the plague. You have to think about where you're going, and that also means you can't max out everything over here. So as you can see, I went heavy in coal and automatons. So
Automatons.
Yeah.
See, you can see who likes steampunk more.
Yeah. Where Carla kind of did a spread eagle thing. She got a little bit of coal. She maxed out the automatons, and she did a bit in firearms as well. She maxed out her areas where she went to, but she only built 2 in those. So that you can see there's quite a lot of variety in terms of what you can do. I mean, in the last round as well, the reason we got so much money, not the last round, the season just before we went into the 4th one, and then the 4th one itself, we rolled, I think it was 6 gold actions.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the norm.
Yeah.
Like, I think the previous game, I mean, I was certainly floating around the 50 mark, and that was quite high, I felt. So I think that these dice very much depict how you possibly are going to end up playing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's interesting how how it all interacts, how the whole board plays off off different components.
So that's enough about this game. So let's talk about some information about the Kickstarter itself. Okay, so you've seen our ending board. We're just going to give you some information on the Kickstarter itself. If you follow the link in the show notes or the description below the on the YouTube page, that'll take you straight to the Kickstarter, which has roughly about 6 days left, so about a week left from the day we're filming, which is, what is it, 15th?
No, we're on the 16th of October, so 16th of October 2018, 6 days left of the Kickstarter, so bearing in mind if you hit the play button on this video 6 days from now, you've probably missed it.
Yeah. The Kickstarter itself has not reached funding goal yet, it's about 50%, and it is roughly about, what is it, 40, I think the pledge level is about £40, and it's free postage to US and UK, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's what everything you saw here is heavily prototyped. There's got it will have standees, but the standees will look better. All the little tokens, the cubes and the piracy tokens and the trade houses and all those stuff will be better. The dice will obviously completely be better with better artwork and stuff, so that you can actually see what they are. Yeah. So,
but you can see the intention anyway. Very clearly. The artwork is very interesting. I kind of like steampunk, so this appeals to me. So have a look at it. You can see very clearly on the Kickstarter the art, and hopefully you got a nice idea of how the game plays out.
Yeah, so, hopefully we played halfway through the game for you guys, and hopefully you got a general gist of what it is. It's sailing around, building your trade houses, influencing influential members of the government and the pirate trade, and make as much money as you can. And while you're at it, search for some lost treasure, which we seem to find every game.
But that's just because we won't ignore it.
Yeah, they don't hide that treasure very well. There's obviously other things that we didn't mention. We might have mentioned is that obviously we only had 3 end game cards. There's more. You'll have a random selection every game.
And I'm assuming there'll be more of
for the events as well.
Yeah.
The actual characters, the characters you saw, as far as I know, these are all the characters in the game, because they're obviously based on ones in these.
Yeah.
So, but the idea is once you've gone through them, you reshuffle them again, and you don't want this to be too thick, otherwise you'll never see some of the characters.
But also, I mean, we've played 2 full games of this
Today alone,
and you never get through. You never utilize all of them anyway, and actually some of them are more useful in different playthroughs.
And because you've got a limited supply of the piracy tokens,
Yeah.
you have to really pick and choose how the strategy.
You have to be careful how you decide to do things. So.
Yeah. Final thing I can mention about the Kickstarter as well, there's some exclusive pledges as well where you can get the game plus a mechanical dice tower. Elad has put up a video on the Kickstarter so you can see how the little dice tower works, a really odd dice tower, it looks like a mechanical type thing. It also has a pledge for, I was just talking about the tokens and stuff being better in the base game. They have one that's a pledge up from that where you get more deluxe components. So the rum is little barrels and stuff like that. So that's all cool. So anyway, if you enjoyed that, please go follow the link. I know Golden Egg Games would love your support. They've done quite a few games on Kickstarter already. I think about 10 games now. A lot of games that they've gone through there. They're a small indie company that still rely heavily on that. So if you're interested in the game and you like the steampunk theme and the mechanics, then go check it out and pledge your support. They're about 50% there, so could do with some bit more pledges. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you guys later.
Ciao.